Good morning, everyone. I'm that dude over there, and I asked four of my friends to invent a rule set that will challenge my skills in Pokemon Challenge runs. My goal is to complete each of these runs in order similar to the Gauntlet. If I fail any of these once, I have to go back and do them again from the beginning. Man, it's been like a year since I touched this project. Part of it is because I haven't had the energy to write the script. The others, I had to redraw all my Gen 3 sprites. Listen, I'm sorry. I just didn't want to stick you guys with the old stuff when I know I can draw better. Anyway, let me remind you of the first rule set. You see, we have to play Pokemon Emerald as a solo run. It sounds easy until you remember that I have a randomized starter with randomized evolutions and random movesets. So theoretically, I could have a Magikarp that evolves out of Caterpie at level 20, then evolves into Marshtomp the next level, and becoming a Ditto at level 36. Our lose condition is if we faint 3 times. We have to re-randomize everything and try again. Gotta say, I have to thank our Overlord of the Dickish and Deranged for giving me such an awful start. But regardless, I'm gonna jump right in and oh boy, let's see if this was worth the wait. To Hoenn we return, and after sitting in the back of a van for the millionth time, seriously, after how many times it happened in Too Many Types 2, I will never forget the inside of this van. We select our starter, those being Ninjask, Hitmonlee, and Natu. Now, like I said when I last played this run, that is, if I did say it has been a while, I want to actually engage with this run. That means that my only real choice here was Natu. Natu isn't exactly what I call top tier, but I suppose it's something. Now, let's just look at the moves, and it's Conversion 2 and Jump Kick. Wow, this starter is borderline dangerous. While I may have some pros defensively, I have to basically level up quick to give this thing another move, unless I want to risk taking a bad hit. However, Natu doesn't get another move till level 10, so that means I have to grind till I get something good. But one quick rival fight and several dead rats later, we roll the gotcha of move selections and get Thunderbolt. Now, Thunderbolt may not be as bad to the unaware, but then you remember that Roxanne has 2 Geodudes, and suddenly I am not feeling good for the first gym. However, I never actually make it to the first gym in this run. Why? Well, this bug keeper here. His Nincada resists all my moves and have Sacred Fire as one of their 4 moves. So realizing I wasn't going to make progress here, I randomized and tried again. This time, our starters were Scyther, Clamperl, and Shelgon. I chose Shelgon for 2 reasons. 1, I don't like Clamperl. 2, Scyther needs a Metal Coat, and I wasn't going to put up with the same shit I went through with Natu for Scyther. Now we get Shelgon this time, and we have pretty good moves to begin with. Sure, Charge isn't exactly the king of skills, but Cross Chop, Sludge, and Vice Grip can take advantage of Shelgon's high attack stat. The only problem I was going to have with this run is the fact that Shelgon evolves at level 50, and it's in the slow growth experience group. But regardless of that, Shelgon is really good for the early game, thanks to its physical bulk, dragon typing. The first 4 gyms proved to be a little challenge for us. Roxanne might overwhelm us with numbers, but the Overlord of Digimon and Degenerates has the defense to endure Rock Tombs. Meanwhile, Brawly tries to set up with bulk ups, but Sludge in combination with Vice Grip sends the Surfer Dude for the waves. By the time we reach Watson, not only do we easily get rid of the Wind Straits and the rival fight, but we easily overlevel all of Watson's team. If this seems like it's going by pretty quickly, well, you'd be correct. The Flannery fight literally doesn't matter, since by this point the Overlord of Decisions and Diatribes is 10 levels over her ace. But even if we weren't, we resist her core type. On top of the fact that the Overlord of Dictators and Doggos is a woman, meaning that she is unaffected by Flannery's attract strategies. It's only when we finally get to Norman that we begin to feel the difficulty of the runs start to ramp up. We have no answers to normal types, and I fear his team could actually threaten me if I'm not careful. So after saving enough coins to buy Flamethrower at the game corner, we make for Petalburg for the 5th gym. And how was it? Well, we faint the first time to Norman's gym, but not to Norman. See, I was speed clearing his trainers and came across cool trainer George. Here, let me slow the footage for you. I use Sludge to get rid of it. Sludge is one of my strongest attacks for the Overlord of Defeat and Defeat. I assume that because Slackoth is almost 20 levels lower than her, and that I'm using an attack that capitalizes on her physical attack, I'd one-shot the weak Sloth. However, not only does he live with a quarter of HP left, but counter-destroys the Overlord of Distress and the Disturbed. However, when we actually faced Norman, I realized that my concerns weren't worthwhile. The only thing I was threatened by was Norman's Slay King, which, thanks to George, I predicted correctly in seeing Slay King's counter. Look, I didn't look at movesets beforehand. What do you want? Anyway, this is where Flamethrower comes in. Fire is considered special in Gen 3, so it was a move I could capitalize in this fight. Before Winona, we finally evolved the Overlord of Desserts and Desserts. And we evolve her again. And we evolve her again. Now this sucks. No one's gonna want to watch me beat the game with a legendary. I should have ended it with something funny like Smeargle. Yeah, everybody would have loved Smeargle winning the day. So we got one of Johto's rejected reincarnations of a dog. This sucks. Well, at least we have a stab flamethrower. That's cool, I guess. Winona gets easily swept because of our heavily inflated stats, and we enter the hardest gym of the run. You know, besides Juan with his water types. We bring a level 5 Magikarp with us for the sole purpose of getting access to the gym and to be easily one-shot by anything. We take out the Claydol with 2 Twin Needles and deal with Lunatone the same way. By the time Solrock came in, I was actually sweating a bit because Xatu had actually set up 3 Calm Minds. I wanted to get rid of it with Facade, but due to speed up, I accidentally misplayed and used Facade on Solrock, giving Xatu the opening to take out the Overlord of Death and Despair for the second time, meaning we have to reset and re-randomize. Wait! Didn't you say that you needed 3 deaths to reset? What gives? Well, to answer that, we need to rewind to Norman's gym. Remember how I said that we had lost to the Slackoff because of counter? Well, we still managed to win that fight. Why? Well, I forgot to deposit my HM user into the box before heading into the gym. I tried to do something to make the Slackoff kill my Zigzagoon, since it had been ages since I last saved. But the Slackoff ended up dying to poison from when I used Sludge. So I had 2 options here. Either I reset my save and go through all of that again, or I make a compromise. Since I lost a life already, I allowed this shenanigan to happen at the expense of 1 life, since I broke a rule. I figured it would add to the stakes and was a good enough punishment since now I only had 1 life left. But now with our death to Tate and Liza, we unfortunately have to return all the way back to Petalburg, starting at square one. Whee! So with morale at an all-time low, we open Birch's bag to get our partner for the run. Would our Overlord of Destiny and Dynasty be something good or nasty? First option, lightly. Not starting strong, are we? Next, Beedrill. This could be really funny, but it's not engaging with the challenges rules. And finally is Mew. Okay, come on guys, I've engaged with the rules once before, so allow me to snag this pink cat so I can sweep. Mew has a balanced spread of 600 in each stat, so our Overlord of Domination and Diplomacy can be built in any direction we want. The early moveset could be anything, and the Overlord of Diggers and Diamonds would make even the most hardcore masochists jealous with how hard they beat the ass of this game. Roxanne, swept by confusion. Brawly, swept by confusion. Watson, swept by confusion and the appearance of Blashburn. Hell, we don't see a true challenge until we get back to the twins, because Norman can't do anything to us, and Winona gets obliterated when we show up with Shockwave and Ice Beam in our arsenal. And the most we get from the twins is Lunatone setting up one Calm Mind and getting a Spadef drop on the Overlord of Decay and Debilitation, creating a stall match where we see who can spam healing items and Psychic till the other faints. We end up the victor thanks to a critical hit. By the time we get to Juan, there's nothing he can do to this team that the demure and detrimental Overlord can't overcome. This brings us to the Elite Four with, the Overlord of Daddies and Dairy Maids going against the top that Hoenn has to offer, with a moveset that contains Ice Beam for Drake and most of Sydney's team, Thunderbolt for Glacia's mostly water team, Shadow Ball for all of Phoebe's repeat ghost types, and Psychic for Stab. We also hold the Lax Incense to make sure we get hit less often than normal. So when we inevitably reach Wallace, is it really a surprise when his team fails to do anything to our partner that is more than 20 levels over their ace? I don't think so. I'm glad to be hopping back into this and can't wait to continue this challenge run. I want to complete this since I made the whole playlist for it and would feel bad if I only had 2 videos for it and it was left unfinished. Either way, I've got more videos to work on, so I don't want to take up too much time with this outro. Except there has to be some time before the next episode in the series, and if you want to discuss all the life choices that led you to clicking this video, let me know in the comments below. And while you're down there, leave a like and subscribe, as it helps idiots like me who suck at promoting videos. But until next time, stay safe out there.